Hello everyone and welcome back to our RTS series. In this episode we're going to take our infantry units and their attack code and we're going to make them able to attack buildings. So the idea being is that if we right click on a building that isn't owned by the player, any unit we've got selected will try to attack that building. And if they destroy the capital building from the enemy team, the game has been won by the player. So let's get started. We have to go to unit building base first of all. And we've already got a variable in here that we can use called player unit. That's what we're going to be using in this case. So we've got the on-clicked event, which fires for both left click and right click. But at the moment we've only got check for left click. And we only want to do the left click action, which is show menu, if it is a player unit. So search for player unit and get the boolean out. And this is going to the branch. So now we'll only do this if the player unit is set to true. Next, we want to go down to where we check the left mouse button, and on the false here, we do another branch, and that's us checking to see if it's the right mouse button instead. So we'll put that in there and change this to right mouse button. Go into the condition for the branch, and that will go into the event here. So now it'll only do this false branch if we right click on it, but we only want to attack if it is not a player unit. So we're going to take the player unit variable out again and turn it into a not, invert it, and put that into a branch. So if it is not a player unit, that's when we want to do the attack code. Now fortunately we've already done the attack code on the infantry, so we can just copy that over from unit base and paste it into here. Let's go to unit base, which is there. And we're taking a look at this bottom branch here for the on clicked where we check the right mouse button. So I'm going to take all of this like so and copy that and go back to building base and put that on here. So on true, it's going to do the check and add all the various code that it needs to attack the target. Okay, so let's put a building in there to test this out. We'll put a barracks in there, make it active and not a player unit. So it's ready to be attacked. Okay, so let's select our infantry here and right click on the building. So the reason why he won't attack the building is because of the AI controller. We've got some code in our behavior tree here, which is just checking to see if the target has a AI controller in order to attack it. So let's put it back onto our unit building base here. So you go to class defaults, go to AI controller class, and we'll just give it a default AI controller. Doesn't really matter too much, but that's what we do. And we'll change that to placed in world or spawned. And then we want to, at the very start of this, is tell it to basically ignore any move commands and so forth. So we're going to go to our begin play event on here, which I don't know if I have. Yep, I do. And on here, we're going to just put it at the start here. Get AI controller. And we're going to get self. And for this, we're telling it to ignore move inputs. Okay, and take that to true. Okay, so they shouldn't move when we're doing that. Next we've got is the movement of the units. We click on the unit building base based upon their distance. So at the moment their target active location is set to the radius of 300 in the random area. Now buildings are quite a lot larger than units, so this needs to be a lot larger in size as well. So we just need to tell this whole thing to be about 1,000 and tweak that as we need to for buildings later on. You can either make this a variable or customize it per building, but for now 1,000 should be fine. Now let's test that out with our characters in game. So in the game you can now see they're all wanting to attack the target building, and the reason why they're all just attacking him is because they're set to chase down and see any targets on site currently. But we don't want to do that with the buildings. I only want to do that with infantry or other units like that. So what we're going to do is check to see if it is of a child class of unit building base. And if it is the case, we want it to not do any AI stuff. So on UnitAI, you've got this check going on here. So we cast unit base. We're checking to see if it's player unit like normal, and then checking if we've actually seen it. If it's true, we'll go and do this. We're going to do another little check in here for the and here. And the and is going to be checking the as unit base class here. And checking to see if the object reference here is not this one, sorry, the actor that came from here, sorry. I'm going to take this out, and we're going to get the class of this. And from the class there, we're going to check to see if it's a child of, and we're going to choose the unit building class. Unit building base class. And this will be a not, because you only want to do this if it's not the case, so not boolean. And then that'll go into our other and node here. It has to be not a player unit and has to not be a building to attack. So let's see how that looks in game now. So they should all just stand still, basically, waiting commands. Now I can select them and tell them to attack the building, and off they go, attack the building. Okay. So the building now should take damage. Now at the moment we haven't got any damage code on our building, so let's add it. Go to unit building base here, and we're going to add in our function for on damage. So we're going to do any damage. And on here, we're going to take the health value, which I can't remember if we have one already. Yep, we do. Get unit health. And in here, we're going to do minus the damage value. And you're going to set it to unit health. There we are. Okay. And if that unit health there, for now, we'll just do this. Check to see if it is less than or equal to 0. We'll just set it to destroy itself. Okay, so nothing, no animation just yet, just destroying it. Destroy actor. Okay, so now we're going to go to the unit base class, and on the attack code for this infantry units, we're going to increase the get distance to check here to 1,000 to match the change we made earlier to make them move to and attack the target. Play and put them in there, and we'll put more in there. Get them to attack the target. Okay, so they're all going to attack the target, and there you go, it disappears. And that's it, destroying a building basically. Now we haven't got any animation per se at the moment to put on there, but let's put in some other units in here to test this working. So I'm going to put in this unit here, not a player unit. We've got one non-player unit and one building unit. So these guys should attack the infantry just fine, and they should die. And then they won't attack the building directly. We have to tell them to attack. So do that, and off they go. Perfect. Okay, so that's them attacking and destroying a building. Now let's do a simple animation to make them fall into the ground. We won't worry about this just yet. We'll worry about these bugs later. Let's just get them sinking into the ground. So on the unit building base, what we're going to do is going to make it animate into the ground. Very simply, nothing major. Obviously, if you've got a full animation package, you can animate it and make it look a bit nicer. So before we do destroy actor, if it's true, we're going to do a timeline, and it's going to have them do once. So do once, and we're going to do a timeline, and we'll call this death timeline. And in here, we're going to have a float, and we'll do progress, we'll call it, and we'll put in a value at start 0, 0, and you add values by holding shift and left clicking. And another one is going to be a time of say 3 and a value of 1. Okay, and the length is going to be the length of 3 seconds, so it matches what we've got here. Okay, I'm going to now go back to the event graph, and on our dev timeline here, I'm going to tell the building mesh itself to drop down, this one, into the ground. So this one I'm going to do set relative location, And we're going to split the new location here, and we will change the Z here. So at the moment the Z is set to 90. I want to set it to a lot lower than that, so take a look at that. So let's say go down to 840. Okay, so negative 840. So we're going to do progress here multiplied by vector, and we're going to type in negative 900, and we're going to split that and just chuck in the Z into there. Okay, compile and save that. And when it's finished here, sorry, we're going to put that destroy actor. Okay, I'll save. And let's test that out now. Let this infantry get killed. Then back to the building. Okay, cool. So now we've got some simple animation, we've got some simple attacking stuff going on, all looking quite good. So in the next episode, we've got the AI characters able to fight back. We've got the buildings that we can destroy now. We're now going to work on the enemy team and trying to get them to do a build rotation, building various buildings on their own and building their own units that they can then send to us. So starting to fill it into an actual game style. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to watch that next part right now, head over to patreon.com/Ryan Laley. You can catch all my videos before anyone else from just $1 a month. Big thank you to all my patrons and YouTube members for their continued support, and make sure you subscribe to the channel by hitting that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye everyone.